Today's thought is, don't believe in luck, believe in hard work. I repeat it again, don't believe in luck, believe in hard work. Good morning everyone, welcome back. I hope all of you are safe and fit at home, studying well and completing your work on time. This video is for the students of class 8, subject English. And today in this video we are going to cover one chapter of PCW's grammar book. This is our chapter number 8 and the name of the chapter is Subject Verb Agreement. Students, we shall cover this chapter in 2 lectures. This is my lecture number 1 of the same chapter. This chapter is taken from PCW's grammar book. Students, today we shall learn the meaning of subject verb agreement and certain rules that tells us how the verbs are changing according to the number of subjects. After then, we shall discuss the homework solution of the homework which was assigned you in lecture number 1 of Poem-3, Macavity the Mystery Cat. So let's see what is the meaning of subject verb agreement. So let's see what is the meaning of subject verb agreement. A simple subject verb agreement definition implies that a verb must be in agreement in number and person with its subject of the sentence. I repeat it again. A simple subject verb agreement definition implies that a verb must in agreement in number and person with its subject of the statement or sentence. Or we can say in simple way, a verb must agree with its subject in number and person. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1. The dog is playing with his ball. So here in this sentence, dog is a subject. Subject means the person or the doer who is doing an action. Is playing is a verb. Is a helping verb and playing is a main verb. So in this case, the subject of the sentence is dog and the verb used singular in nature is playing, because dog is a singular in number. That is why we have used singular verb with it. Now let's see the another example. The dogs are playing with their balls. So here the subject is dog and it shows plural meaning. So that is why we have used here plural verb form, are playing. There are certain rules how to use subject verb and agreement. So let's see the rule number 1. Singular subject takes singular verb and plural subject takes plural verb. Or we can say that if the subject it is in singular form, then we use singular verb. If the subject it is showing plural form, then we will use plural verb. This is the most commonly used rule on subject verb agreement and will serve you purpose on most occasions. To clarify it, let's see some examples. The siblings eat frequently. That is why they are obese. As you can see in the sentences, the words which are highlighted with red color, they are subjects and noun or pronoun. So here siblings word is plural noun. That is why eat is used instead of eats. And here the word they, it is plural pronoun. So that is why are is used instead of is. Rama and her friend blink every few seconds. Number 3, Rama blinks every few seconds. So here Rama, it is singular noun. So that is why we have used blinks instead of blink. He eats frequently. That is why he is obese. Cities A and B are the cohorts for the next games. City A is the host for the next games. So as per the rule, if the subject it is in singular noun, so we have to use singular verb. If the subject is plural, then we have to use plural verb. There are two exceptions of rule number 1. So let's see exception number 1. Singular subjects I and you take plural verbs. I repeat it again. Singular subjects I and you take plural verbs. To clarify it, let's see some examples. I blink every few seconds. So as you can see in the sentence, I, it is a subject and it shows singular form. So that is why we have used blink here instead of blinks, because we add s or es with singular nouns. You eat frequently, that is why you are obese. Obese means fat. I have refused to participate in the event. Let's see exception number 2. This rule doesn't apply to simple past tense without helping verbs. Means rule number 1, it is not applicable with exception number 2. Means if in the sentence simple past tense is there, then we will not change the verb according to the subject number. To clarify it, let's see some examples. The student made merry in absence of teacher. So here you can see that student, it is a subject and it is in singular form, or it is in singular in number. So that is why we have used made here, and we have not changed any verb according to the number of the subject. Number 2, the students made merry in absence of the teacher. But in the second example, as you can see that students, it is a plural in number, but we have not changed verb according to the subject's number. Let's see exception number 3. This rule does not apply to the following helping verbs. Helping verbs, or we can say modal verbs, when they are used with a main verb. Means if the modal verbs they are using with the main verb, we will not use the same rule. What is the rule? Means if the subject it is in singular form, then we will use singular verb. If the subject is plural form, then we will use plural verb. So it is not applicable with the modal verbs if they are used with the main verbs. Modal verbs are will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must, etc. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1, he must go to the college today. Number 2, we must go to the college today. So here you can see that in the first sentence, subject is he and it is singular. In the second sentence, subject is we and it is plural. Both take the same form of the verb. Means according to the exception number 2, if modal verbs are used as a helping verb and with the main verb, then the rule number 1 will be not applicable for the modal verbs. And what is the rule number 1? If the subject it is singular, then we will use singular verb. If the subject is plural, then we will use plural verb. So here it is not applicable with the modal verbs if they are used as a helping verb carrying with the main verb. The next example too follows the same pattern. David can lift the suitcase. David and Mac can lift the suitcase. Note that simple future tense is covered by will and shall modals. Let's see what is rule number 2. Words that come between subject and verb do not affect the number. Number means singular or plural of the verb. So let me clear you again what is the meaning of subject and verb. Subject means doer, whether it is noun or pronoun, who is doing an action. Verb means action. So ignore intermediary words for the purpose of matching a subject with its verb. Well, this is not really an independent rule, but it helps in applying the first rule better. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1. The price of tomatoes has gone through the roof in the last 2 weeks. So here in the sentence, the price is a subject and has, it is a verb. And according to the subject, we have used the verb has, because the price, it is showing singular form. That's why we have used has. But tomatoes would, it is coming in between subject and verb. According to rule number 2, if the word, it is coming in between, if means any noun, it is coming in between subject and verb, then we have to ignore the intermediary words, because it will not affect on the number of the verbs. Same like it is with the second example also. A consortium of banks has lent USD 200 million to ABC Limited. So let's see what is rule number 3. A linking verb takes the form of its subject. For the uninitiated, a linking verb, unlike the action verb, does not show any action. It serves the limited purpose of connecting one idea to the other. For example, in the sentence, you can see that the cat is hungry. So here the cat, it is a subject, and is here the linking verb. It is not showing any action, just only it is connecting one idea to the another. And I have already explained you, linking verbs are also known as auxiliary verbs, and they are of 3 kinds: be, do and have. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Number 1. The problem with this situation is that there are many directions one can proceed in. So here in this sentence, problem, it is a subject, and is here helping verb, or we can say linking verb. According to rule number 3, linking verb take a form of its subject, means if subject, it is in plural form, then plural verb will be used. If subject, it is in singular form, then singular verb is used. So here the linking verb is takes the form of its subject, problem, not that of many directions. So here many direction, it is not a subject, problem is a subject, that's why we have used is here according to the subject. So same like with the other examples also. Let's see the other examples. What I demand is honesty and hard work in your job. So here subject is I, and according to the subject we have used the verb is here. Here is the book you are looking for. So here the subject is book and it is showing singular form. So that's why we have used is here as a linking verb, or it is a auxiliary verb. Let's see what is rule number 4. A compound subject comprising means form of 2 or more nouns or pronouns joined by and requires a plural verb. Means in simple way we can say that if 2 nouns or pronouns, they are used as a subject and they are joined with the conjunction and, then plural verb will be used. To clarify it, let's see some examples. A lion and a tiger don't cross paths in the wild because their habits do not overlap. So here you can see that a lion and a tiger both are noun and they are used as a subject, and they are forming a plural form. So that's why according to the simple present tense we will use here do instead of does as a helping verb or as a verb. Now let's see the another example. The car and the bike both were vanillized. So here the car and the bike, they both are nouns. And what is the meaning of noun? Noun is the name of a person, place, animal or thing. and pronoun means which is used, means the words which are used in place of noun. So here the car and the bike, they both are noun and they are two in number and they are connected with the conjunction and. So that's why we have used here plural verb were. With another example also, the same thing is there. Ramesh and Abhishek were absent in the class yesterday. So here Ramesh and Abhishek, they both are proper nouns. Fine. So and they both are connected with the conjunction and. So that's why we have used here plural verb were here. But there are certain exceptions with the rule number 4. Let's see what are the exceptions. Exception number 1. Compound subjects qualified by each or every take singular verbs. Means if the subject, they are qualified, they are carrying with each or every word, then the verb will be in singular form. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Every man and woman in the lobby is requested to proceed to the conference room. So here you can see man and woman, they both are nouns and they are playing as a role of subject here. But they are qualified with the word every here. So that's why we will use here singular verb is. Now let's see the another example. Every spoon, plate and glass was on the floor, a likely act of the cat. So here in this example you can see that spoon, plate and glass, they all are noun and they are qualified with the word every. So if the compound subjects qualified by each or every word, then we have to use singular verb. So that's why we have used here was. Let's see what is exception number 2. Certain subjects separated by and suggest one idea. Means when two subjects are separated by the conjunction and but they are showing one idea to mind or refer to the same person or thing, that they are considered singular and hence they take singular verbs. I repeat it again. Means if the two subjects, they are separated by the conjunction and but they are showing a single idea, one idea of mind, at that place we will use singular verb. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Slowly and steady wins the race. So here slowly and steady, they both are separated by the conjunction and they are playing as a role of subject. So that's why we will use here singular verb, and in case of simple present tense we will use wins. Give and take is common in negotiation. So the same thing it is with second example also. Let's see the another example. Bread and butter is his only food. So here bread and butter, they both are noun and they are separated with the conjunction and. So that's why according to the exception number 2 we will use singular verb here, or we can say that bread and butter is used as an uncountable noun, which means bread with butter spread on it. It is not a combination of two different nouns joined by and, which makes the subject plural. Being an uncountable noun, we will take a singular verb instead of plural verb. Let's see what is rule number 5. A singular subject takes a singular verb even if other nouns are connected to it by the following verbs. Means, I just want to explain you one thing. If the subject it is in singular form, then singular verb will be used. Even if the subject is connected with the other nouns, means if the nouns in that sentence they are followed by some verbs like with, as well as, in addition to, except, together with, no less than, then we will ignore those nouns or that noun, particular noun. We will just only focus on the subject, and according to the subject we will change the verb, not according to the noun. To clarify it, let's see some examples. He as well as his friends was denied entry to the club. So here in this example you can see that he, it is used as a subject, friends, it is used as a noun, and was, it is used as a verb. So according to the rule, the verb is followed by the subject, whether the subject it is in singular or plural form. So here he, it is in singular form, that's why we have used the verb was here. In this case, if the subject it is connected with the nouns or noun followed by some verbs like as well as, then at that place we will ignore the verbs which is connected with the nouns, and those verbs are as well as, with, etc. And as well as we will ignore the nouns also, only we will focus on the subject. Number 2, the government together with NGOs was able to make the campaign a success. Number 3, he with help from his friends has managed to complete the project in time. So in all the examples you can see that we have just only focused to the subject. If the subject it is in singular form, then we will use the verb in singular only, or we will use the verb singular. If the subject it is in plural form, then we will use the plural verb. We will ignore the nouns which are connected with the subject followed by some certain verbs. Let's see what is rule number 6. The following words must be followed by a singular verb. The words are each, either, everyone, everybody, neither or neither. Both are correct. Nobody, someone, many. If these words are coming in the sentences or sentence, then they are always followed by singular verb instead of plural verb. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Neither of two invited speakers has come. Number 2, one of my pencils is lost. Number 3, each of us has a smartphone. Number 4, nobody ever goes to the fort. It is haunted, or it's haunted. Number 5, many a student has made the same mistake. As you can see, the words which are highlighted with red color, they all are subject. But in this case, we will ignore the subject, whether the subject it is in plural or singular form. We just have to focus the words like either, neither, each, everyone, many. If they are used in the sentences, then we will use singular form or singular verb. Let's see what is rule number 7. If two or more singular subjects connected with either or, neither nor, not only but also, in that case we will use singular verb. Or we can say two or more singular subjects connected with either or, neither nor, not only but also, take a singular verb. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Neither the escalator nor the elevator is working. So here you can see that the words which are highlighted with red color, they are subjects according to the rule. If two singular subjects and they are connected with, if they are connected with neither nor, either or, at that place we will use singular verb. Number 2, he has failed in not only math but also chemistry. The same rule is also followed with this example also. There are two exceptions with rule number 7. So let's see the exception number 1. If the subjects are joined by or nor. Subjects means whether it is noun or pronoun. If they are joined by or nor, and the subjects are of different persons. If the subjects are first person, second person and third person, the verb agrees with the nearer subject. In that case, the verb will be used according to the nearer subject or person. To clarify it, let's see some examples. Neither you nor he is to blame. The verb is in this example is closest to the person he, and hence the closest subject is singular in number. So that is why singular verb is used here. Now let's see the another example. Either he or I am mistaken. The same rule is applicable for this example also. See what is exception number 2. However, if one subject is singular and the another is plural. I repeat it again. If one subject is singular and the other is plural, use the verb form of the subject that is closest to the verb. So in this case, the verb will be used according to the closest subject. For example, neither the bears nor the lion has escaped from the zoo. The verb in this example is closest to the subject lion and hence takes singular form has. Let's see the another example. Neither the lion nor the bears have escaped from the zoo. The verb in this example is closest to the subject bears and hence takes plural form have. Let's see what is rule number 8. Use a singular verb form after none when the verb means no one or not one. I repeat it again. Use a singular verb form after none when the word means no one or not one. However, use a plural verb when none suggests more than one thing or person. Means if the none word it is indicating towards plural noun, at that time you have to use plural form. Of if the none word it is indicating to singular, at that time we have to use singular form or singular verb. So let's see the examples to clarify it. I have been looking for inspiration but none has stuck so far. Number 2, none of us is perfect means no one is perfect. None was injured in the accident means no one was injured in the accident. It is indicating towards singular number. I have been looking for ideas to start a business but none have stuck so far. Means this here ideas it is indicating towards plural meaning. That's why we have used have here. We interviewed 10 candidates. None was good means no one was good. Let's see what is rule number 9. Use of plural verb form in if a relative clause following one of or a similar expression has the subject in relation to the nouns. I repeat it again. We use plural verb form if a relative clause following one of or a similar expression has the subject in the relation to the noun or to the nouns. To clarify it, let's see the example. He is one of those guys who have never cheated in exams. When a noun is modified by a relative clause, the verb in the relative clause has to agree in number with the noun. Means when a noun is modified by a relative clause, the verb will change according to the noun number and the nearest to the verb, not according to the subject. So let me clear you what is relative clause. Relative clauses are used to give more information about a particular part of sentence, usually a noun. It is therefore important to pay attention to exactly which noun is modified by the relative clause. And we have to see one thing also, whether the noun is singular or plural. According to that, the verb will change. Relative clauses are who, when, etc. Students, you have to complete your homework on the basis of the topic explained by me. And your homework is revise chapter 8, subject verb agreement from the book or video, and based on the understanding of the topic, do exercise mentioned in the video as extra exercise number 1. This exercise, it is not in your book, it is given by me. Extra exercise number 1. In each of the following sentences, supply a verb in agreement with its subjects. Number 1. These books dash very good. Number 2. She will dash to the college. Number 3. Rahul and Manish dash playing in the park. Number 4. The ship with its crew dash lost. Number 5. Each of these substances dash found in India. Number 6. Neither the police nor the detectives dash in favor of it. Number 7. Ram is one of those people who dash always on time. Students, you have to keep one thing in your mind. This exercise, it is not in your book, it is extra exercise given by me. So you have to do this exercise in your fair notebook. Students, now we shall discuss the homework solution of the homework which was assigned you in lecture number 1 of poem 3, that is Macavity the Mystery Cat. It is written by none other than the famous poet T.S. Eliot. Students, we have already discussed about the author, introduction, key points, objectives, stanza-wise explanation and detailed summary along with word meanings in lecture number 1 of poem 3. As I assigned you homework which was to be done by you on the basis of your understanding, and your homework was read poem 3 and write word meanings highlighted in the video. Based on the understanding of the poem, write the answers of the questions mentioned in the book Honeydew as page number 51 and 52, working with the poem, question number 1 to 7. So now let's discuss the word meanings of the poem. Number 1, paw means an animal's foot having claw and pads. I repeat it again. Paw means an animal's foot having claws and pads. Number 2, defy means disobey. Defy means disobey. Number 3, bafflement means confusion. Bafflement means confusion. Number 4, despair means pain. Despair means pain. Number 5, flying squad means a small group of police. Flying squad means a small group of police. Number 6, scene of crime means crime spot. I repeat it again. Scene of crime means crime spot. Number 7, levitation means floating in the air without any support. Levitation means floating in the air without any support. Number 8, fakir means religious man. Fakir means religious man. Number 9, stare means surprise. Stare means surprise. Number 10, domed means round. Domed means round. Number 11. Whiskers means hair. I repeat it again. Whiskers means hair. Number 12. Swaying means moving. Swaying means moving. Number 13. Fiend means evil spirit. Fiend means evil spirit. Number 14. Feline means cat. Feline means cat. Number 15. By street means private street. By street means private street. Number 16. Square means mall. Square means mall. So these were the word meanings of poem 3. So now let's discuss questions and answers of working with the poem. Question number 1. Read the first stanza and think. Number 1. Is Macavity a cat really? Number 2. If not, who can Macavity be? The answer of the first part is Macavity is a cunning cat. The answer of the second part is if not a cat, he can be an expert thief or criminal or a mysterious creature. Question number 2 is complete the following sentences. Number 1. A master criminal is one who dash. Number 2. The Scotland Yard is baffled because dash. Number 3. Dash because Macavity moves much faster than them. The answer of the first part is a master criminal is one who evades arrest and escapes from the scene of crime, or we can say can defy the law. The answer of the second part is the Scotland Yard is baffled because it fails to get a clue about the criminal, that is Macavity. The answer of the third part is flying squad is not able to catch Macavity at the scene of crime because Macavity moves much faster than them. Question number 3. A cat, I am sure, could walk on cloud without coming through. Which law is Macavity breaking in the light of comment above? The answer of the question is in the light of the above comment, Macavity is breaking Newton's law of gravitation. Question number 4 is read stanza 3 and then describe Macavity in 2 or 3 sentences of your own. Answer me very. According to me, Macavity is very cunning means ginger and cautious cat means careful cat. He is tall and thin. His eyes are sunken in. His forehead is wrinkled and his head is highly domed. His coat is soiled means dusty and whiskers means hair are not combed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. And he is always wide awake means more active even when one thinks that he is half asleep. Question number 5 is say false or true for each of the following statements. Number 1. Macavity is not an ordinary cat. Answer is true. Number 2. Macavity cannot do what a fakir can easily do. Answer is false. Macavity's power of levitation would make a fakir stare in disbelief. Number 3. Macavity has supernatural powers. Answer is true. Number 4. Macavity is well dressed, smart and bright. Answer is false. Macavity is not well dressed as his coat is dusty out of neglect. His eyes are sunken and not bright. Number 5. Macavity is a spy, a trickster and a criminal all rolled in one. Answer is true. Question number 6 is, having read the poem, try to guess whether the poet is fond of cats. If so, why does he call Macavity a fiend and monster? The answer of the question is, the poet admires the cat for his swift movement, expert criminality and the way he gives a slip to the police. But he is a lawbreaker at the same time. So the poet calls him a devil and giant. Yes, it seems like that the poet is fond of cats. That is why he calls Macavity a fiend and monster. Question number 7 is, has the poet used exaggeration for special effect? Find a few examples of it and read those lines aloud. The answer of the question is yes. The poet has used exaggerations. The following statements are examples of exaggeration. Number 1. He is the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. Number 2. He breaks the law of gravity. Number 3. His power of levitation would make a fakir stare. Number 4. A fiend and feline shape, a monster of depravity. So, this is the end of the lecture. At last, I would like to say that your homework will be uploaded on EdQuark website under the column Homework at 9 AM on Saturday, and your solution will be uploaded on EdQuark website under Solution column at 9 o'clock on Saturday. Students, if you like our videos, please hit on like button and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you and have a nice day.